I'm not the tallest person in town. The other reason I asked you guys to be there is because I like to be eye level with everybody, and we're pretty close, especially being the big man right here. Now, first and foremost, how many of you guys are here in this town for the very first time? Raise your hand, no shame in it. Welcome to hell. That's why I give you the fans. We're almost comparable with the heat, aren't we? Yes. Now, what I would like to explain to most of you guys is, just like the boss said, you have picked the right tour. You've also got the right tour guide for one reason. There's some things that they haven't done that I have. Outside the A&E, Travel Channel, History Channel, God knows what, MTV, blah. I've also done a little special on Animal Planet called The World's Greatest Bloodsuckers, which I really wish they would burn, because these people love to play this damn thing right around Halloween. And all the family members go, hey, you're on TV. Yeah, shut up. Leave me alone. I went from a lowly tour guide to someone getting hate mail from England because I steal babies in the middle of the night, which I do not. But you guys can understand, you deal with a camera crew for about 8 hours and 2 minutes worth of footage. Yeah. Okay. With that, I do like to tell everyone I steer away from the fiction. You will find out why towards the end of the tour. The fiction leads us to nothing but trouble. Within that fact, there's one thing that they don't share. You guys can see this is a giant migrant community, correct? People drift in, they drift out, God knows what. Unlike most people in this town, I do not share the same fate that they do. I'm actually born and raised in this town, which means I'm cursed at birth. I've never left. I know this city's history like the back of my hand, and I know its folklore even better. You guys know what folklore is, correct? Stories handed down from generation to generation. Everybody really thought Grandma was just trying to scare the holy guacamole out the little creepy kid. Got a little older, I did my own research. We found out Grandma's really not crazy. And I'm probably the only tour guide that'll let you do that.
Oh,
it's all good.
I appreciate it.
That's not a problem. Now, being born and raised here, I'm privy to several things. I know just about everyone in town. If all works out well, we will not end our tour like every other tour on these streets. If we can manage to pull it off, you guys are going to get your own private bar at the end. Let's pray this works out. Now, we're all here for one reason. What I have to tell you before we get started is what the boss didn't mention to tell you. Some of these stones, as large and beautiful as they are loose. I have seen people who haven't had the bar break yet fall on their face. Be very careful as we make our way along. I do not have people lined along the streets waiting to jump out at you like a Halloween spook house. If that kind of an event does happen, it's a real thing. We're being mugged and we need to friggin' run. Okay? Keep in mind one thing. See this? Good. Try to keep up. The reason I say this is I can actually cross the entire quarter in 7 minutes. Usually because I'm running from the blue flashy lights, but we'll discuss that later as we move along. Now, do I have any Anne Rice fans? Good. Books or movies? Both. Both. Excellent. Books are better. Trust me. You'll understand why as we make our way through. But steering clear of the fiction, I have to let you guys in on a little secret, that if you're here for your Brad Pitts and your Tom Cruises and your interviews with the vampires and what the hell's the kids doing these days, that new... Yeah, you got the wrong guy. Sorry. You'll find out why at the very end. No, Brad? No, we might. Hell, the other night we ran into Nicolas Cage, but that's a different story for another time. With that, let's keep in mind why we're here. You guys have an interest in one thing, right? What? The entire theory of it possibly could have started in this town. So we'll get straight into the entire history and the actuality. We all know that in the early 1700s, these guys were bold. We notice I start my tour in front of the St. Louis Cathedral, the oldest operating cathedral in the entire country. I've been in this building hundreds of times. I have not exploded, imploded, burst into flames, God knows what, turned into bats, cats, dogs, whatever. I have been kicked out a lot. Not quite sure why. They don't like me, which is a shame. I like them. Hell, we all know all of you guys taste like chicken to us anyway. But biggest problem is religious artifacts. Let's stump that one right here and now. Should I? You guys ready for a short tour? Ah! Religious artifacts have no effect. Because in the early 1700s, when these guys are bored, the Inquisition's are long gone, the witch hunts are far, and we're bored! We need something to do. What do we do now? Hey, let's hunt vampires. Great! What the hell's a vampire? It's around that time the onset of tuberculosis comes in. We all see what happens then, right? People sit up in their hospital beds. They're spitting up blood. If they're spitting up blood and it's coming out, it had to have gone in. You're a vampire. How many of you guys seen that little movie Powder a few years ago? Mm-hmm. A little iron deficiency known as porphyria. If we stuck this poor boy out in the middle of the sunlight in broad daylight, guess what? 3 minutes, he's running for shade smoking. And I don't mean what I do with this pack in my pocket. I mean literally smoking. He's a vampire. Children born with teeth, veils over their heads. People that don't agree with what we say. People that go against us. Rub us the wrong way. The village idiot. The town drunk. We're in trouble, aren't we? Which brings me to the one other question. If you guys aren't here drinking, partying, what the